Arcanist.
Alright folks, how's it going? The name's Defi and welcome to Pathfinder Kingmaker. So I just want to stress that this is not the start of the official playthrough. Instead, this is going to be a kind of like an in-depth look at the custom character generation thing that you can do. The thing about this game is that you can create your own custom characters. So I want you guys in the game. That is if you're interested. I mean, I would be appreciated if you did though, because I want a little bit of viewer incentive, Can I go right? So, I'm not gonna face cam on because I just want the screen to be the main star if you wish. So I'm just gonna do a quick, I don't know, maybe like a 30-minute guide on like what your options are. I will give a little bit of a general description on everything, but I'll be doing more in depth when we actually do the playthrough in a few days' time from time of this video being uploaded. So there will be chapters. There will be chapters on the timeline, and there will be timestamps in the comments below on a pinned comment. Also, just to let you know, I am running 3 mods. I'm running a custom portraits mod. They call it the Wild mod, which adds some new classes as well as some subclasses. And I'm running some race mods, which adds some new races as well. So in terms of your options, you get quite a bit. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. Like I said, I want it in the ballpark of maybe 30 to 40 minutes. So yeah, so we'll just take our time. But for the most part, there will be pop-up text boxes. So I'll leave it on for like a minute or two. So you can have a quick skim through, or you can pause it and digest it at your own discretion. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're into the portrait section now. So the portraits, the main game portraits, are 32 of them, and this is pretty much up to about here. Now, from this point forward, all the way to the end is all custom. Now, there is like 290 here, like over 300 portraits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every single one of them, about a couple of seconds in each, and then I'll explain how you can tell me which portrait you want. Just give me a second. Right, okay, so that's all the portraits. So the way you can give me your portrait if you want is either to take a screenshot of it and give it to me through Discord. You can give me a description of what it looks like. Make sure you pick what race it is, which we'll go over in a second. The general look of them, the colors, the background, if there is one. Like, for example, with this guy, is a dwarf, you know, forest, green grass, sort of thing, wearing blue armor, brown belt, brown shoes, you know, kind of stuff like that. Or if you were counting, it's 4 portraits per row, and you can sort of like make sure you can keep count, and you can tell me which one it is. So for left to right, that's 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth. Okay, now we move on to the races now. So there is, well, I think it's like, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, so there's 10 official races to start off with, but from here to here, that's the race mod that we have. So we'll go over each race to start off with. So different races will have points given to their starting stats or points taken away. Also, they'll have traits as well. So for example, the human gets a +2 to 1 ability score, strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. I will go over this in depth when we're doing the first episode of the playthrough. They also get a feat, and they also get skilled as well. Here's the background story if you're interested. And then we're going to go over the different body types and different faces, skin tones and stuff, so you can tell me what you would like. In terms of the template for the appearance, please tell me the gender, what body type, what face type, skin tone, labeled 1 to 7, or whatever number of colors there are, or just give me a general description. Number of hairstyle, beard if you're male, and hair color, and if you want them to be left or right-handed. So this is what the female and the male human looks like. By the way, there's no zoom in option, I apologize. So I doubt you can see it well. I'll do my best. Okay, so moving on to the elf. Pardon. They get a +2 to dexterity, a -1 to constitution, and a +2 to intelligence. They also get the keen senses ability, elven magic, elven immunities, and also elven weapon familiarity. Here's the background story if you're interested. The male elf looks like this. And female elf. Okay, move on to the Dwarf. They have a +2 to Constitution, +2 Wisdom, and a -2 to Charisma. They come with a slow and steady ability, stability, hardy, defense training giants, hatred, orcs and goblinoids, keen senses, and dwarven weapon familiarity. Here's the background story if you're interested. The female dwarf looks like this. The male dwarf like this. The gnome has a -2 to strength, +2 to constitution, +2 to charisma. They have the keen senses trait, hatred, reptilian humanoids, defense training giants, illusion resistance, no magic, obsessive, and slow movement. Here's the background story if you're interested. The male gnome was like this. Space. And the female gnome looks like this. The halfling has -2 strength, +2 to dexterity, and a +2 to charisma. They have the fearless ability, slow movement, sure-footed, keen senses, and halfling luck. Here's the background story if you're interested. The female halfling is like this. The male gnome, this. Okay, half-elf. They have nothing gained, nothing lost in their stats. They have the +2/1 ability score ability, keen senses, elven immunities, and adaptability. And here's the background story if you're interested. The male elf was like this. Oh, half-elf, sorry. female half-elf looks like this. Half-Orc. Nothing gained, nothing lost in the stats. +2 to 1 ability score. They have skill, intimidating, orc weapon familiarity, orc ferocity, and key senses. This is the background story if you're interested. Okay, the female half-orc looks like this. Male half-orc. Aasimar has nothing gained, nothing lost. They have the heritage ability, the light halo ability, and the celestial resistance ability. The background story if you're interested. This is what the male Aasimar looks like. Okay, this is what the female Aasimar looks like. Okay, Tieflings. Nothing gained, nothing lost. They get fiendish resistance, and they get Tiefling heritage. It's the backstory for the Tieflings if you're interested. Okay, this is what a female Tiefling looks like. This is what a male Tiefling looks like. First of the modded races is the Dhampir. They have nothing lost, nothing gained. They get Dhampir heritage, keen senses, negative energy affinity, level drain immunity, and undead resistance. And this is the backstory. A male Dhampir looks like this. Star. A female vampire. Drow. They have a +2 to dexterity, -2 to constitution, and +2 to charisma. They have ancestral drudge, keen senses, verify spell-like ability, blow spell-like ability, drow weapon familiarity, drow immunities, spell resistance, and light sensitivity. There's the background story if you're interested. A female drow was as such. Male drow. The Duergar have a +2 to constitution, well, +2 to wisdom, and a -4 to charisma. They have slow and steady, stability, immunities, enlarged person spell-like ability, invisibility, person spell-like ability, keen senses, and light sensitivity. There's the backstory if you're interested. The male Duergar was like this. Females, this. Hobgoblin has +2 to dexterity, +2 to constitution, keen senses, and sneaky. There's a background story if you want the Hobgoblin. Okay, break. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the female Hobgoblin was this. The male Hobgoblin, this. Fetchling gets +2 to dexterity, -2 to wisdom, and +2 to charisma. He has the outsider ability, keen senses, skilled, shadow blending, shadow resistance, and unnerving gaze. Here's the background story if you're interested. Remember to pause if you want to read it all. The male fletching is like this. Right, the female fetchling was like this. Ganzi get +2 to Constitution, -2 Wisdom, and +2 to Charisma. They get Maelstrom Resistance, Skilled, and Ganzi Oddity. Here's the backstory if you're interested. The female Ganzi goes like this. The male Ganzi was like this. And finally, we have the Suli. They have +2 strength, -2 intelligence, and +2 charisma. They have energy resistance, negotiator, elemental assault, outsider, and this is the backstory. This is what a male Suli looks like, or Suli. Okay, so regarding the race part, basically it's just pretty simple. Just I need the race, the gender, the body type, the facial type, skin tone. You can even number it or you can describe it. The hairstyle, number it please. The beard and number as well if you're a male, and what hair color they want. Okay, moving on to the classes. There is a good selection of classes for you to play. There is magic-based classes, there's strength-based classes, physical, martial, different names and different ways to play them. Within the martial and magic classes themselves, there's different standalones or hybrid classes. So I'll give you a quick demonstration or a quick explanation of what class can do. Alright, we'll start things off with the Alchemist. So the thing about this game is that you can have your base class, or you can add a subclass to it to change it into more of a specialized role. The Alchemist is a little bit of a item class that makes bombs and deals with creating and improving poisons and potions. So make sure to read which one you fancy. Also, I'm not going to go over the abilities down below. I am going to save that as a little bit of a surprise for myself because I've not played these classes yet. So just have a quick look at the top right and just see which one you kind of fancy. Okay, moving on to the Anti-Paladin. The Anti-Paladin is best described as some sort of a Dark Knight. They've broken their oath and they get powers from the evil side. So think of the dark side of the Force to some degree. Also as well, something I neglected to do is that you can change the colors of your character as well. So like, for example, like, if you can click one, for example, like that. So you can either tell me what primary color you want, you can either list it, describe it, or number it 1 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, for example, and I will do that for you. Okay, moving on to the Arcanist. The Arcanist is the first of the magic classes. And also just remember that these classes have prerequisites as well. So if you choose a class that has a prerequisite and that class cannot be chosen, I will point it out to you so you can make changes if you wish. You can get me on Discord or Twitter, or just put it in the comments of any of the videos to play through, and I will be more than willing to make any changes that you wish to have. Okay, moving on to the Barbarian. The Barbarian is an excellent frontline fighter. Okay, moving on to the Bard. The Bard is the first of the hybrid classes, basically able to do melee combat, martial up front, and able to do magic as well. Their main focus is in supporting allies through song and dance. Okay, Bloodrager. Bloodrager is a combination between a Barbarian and some other form of magical class. They focus their rage and strength through the use of magic. Okay, the Brawler. The Brawler is one of the most fundamental, foundationary fighter classes in the game, or just in general. They don't really have much in the way of techniques, but nothing that a bare-knuckle brawl can't solve. Okay, move on to the Cleric. The Cleric is the first of the support classes on the magic side. They are capable of either healing or being a pretty good tank up close. However, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they are the main healer. The Druid is another hybrid class that focuses on physical and magical combat, although they are more towards the magical side and is one with nature, having the use of companions, animal companions, or turning into an animal themselves. They wield the bite of the wolf, the claw of the bear, and the heart of a lion. Fighter is your frontline warrior speciality. However, though, they're more basic than some of the other martial classes, but they have a good few tricks up the sleeve and they can adapt to near enough any situation. Hunters. Hunters are a really good situational class. They focus on companions, but also have some very good skills outside combat regarding hunting down marks, or just survival-based situations in general. Inquisitor. Inquisitors have one goal: to smite down the enemies of the church. They will use anything and everything to deliver the justice of their God upon the enemy. Investigators. Investigators are mainly a social class. They will take up the face of the party. They will answer the questions and they will get the explanations. Now let's just say that the criminals on the run better watch out because they have a PI on their tail. Kineticist. Kineticists are masters of the four elements. They forgo weapons and armor and instead draw the energy from these elements to either blast them with a ray of fire or shiver them with a spray of cold. Whatever element's your favorite, this guy's for you. Magus. The Magus is a spell fencer, willing if capably to... It's 3, 2, 1. Magus. A Magus is somebody who wields both sword and sorcery, able to cast spells and attack in the same turn. They're a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. The Monk. The Monk is different from any other martial class. They focus more on training and harnessing and sharpening their main weapon, which is their fists, legs, and body and mind. They prefer specialist training over how to simply swing a sword, let's say. Occultist. The Occultist is a magic class that finds magical prowess from everyday items to those of the rarest materials. A hunger for knowledge. This man will travel with anyone in order to find the darkest, deepest secrets. Okay, that's better. And Oracles. Oracles are another magic-based class. They have the ability to foresee the future. They will be able to tell prophecies, and they'll be able to act out the downfall of their enemies according to the visions they see. Paladin. With sword and shield, they are defenders of the faith. Their oath is their word. Their service is their life. Psychics. They say mind over matter. However, it all depends on the strength of your mind. Ranger. The Ranger is a skirmisher. They are better on the flanks, better at the back, and either with sword or bow, they will deal death and damage at any range. The Rogue. Rogue are scallions. They are masters of shadows, masters of the sea. They will avoid head-to-head combat at all times, instead striking where you least expect it. The Shaman. The Shaman is a class that deals with otherworldly spirits. However, instead of fighting against them, they work together. Through one body and one soul, they combine their prowess, and they are a force on the battlefield. The Skald. The Skald is like a bard, but they trade musicianship for loremanship. It's their job to chronicle all the events and disasters that happen in the world. The Slayer. The Slayer is a combination between the Ranger and the Hunter, except they trade survivability skills and tracking skills on how to take out their targets as quickly and efficiently as possible. Sorcerer. Sorcerers are the most inept of the magic classes, as they have raw power from the get-go. Where other magic classes have to learn their talents through levels and experience, sorcerers have the power at birth. Spiritualist. Spiritualist is a class that specializes in working with the dead. Not necessarily the living undead, but that of spirits. Very similar to a shaman. Instead of working with the spirits, they call the spirits their servants. Summoner is a class that summons great beings to obey their every command. However, what they lack in combat efficiency, they lack in supplement and support to further their summons with buffs, abilities, and overall strengthen the bond between Summoner and Eidolon. Vindictive Bastard. These fallen paladins specialize in getting revenge. They throw loyalty, they throw mercy and protection for the weak away in order to harness the strength and fueled rage in order to exact their revenge. War Priest. Instead of spending their days praying and reading in the clergy, they'd rather don armor and send their prayers through the smash of a mace. Witch. This class does not specialize in healing or damage dealing or any other kind of spells. Instead, they prefer to throw hexes and curse their targets. Wizard. Wizards don't specialize in one specific type of magic. Instead, they can dabble in all schools of magic, making them very, very versatile. And that is all the base game classes in this game, including the modded ones as well. There is some other ones that I've missed out, particularly the Dragon, Eidolon, the Phantom. These are the summon specific ones. And there's ones down here which I believe are more exclusive or more specialized classes. For example, Aldorian Swordlord, you need some of those. Arcane Trickster, some of those. So same goes for some of these other ones as well. So we'll go over them as time goes on. Now, depending on your class, you can either get an extra menu, such as School for the Wizard, or the Anti-Paladin, you get Deity. We'll go over those in a second. Depending on what race you choose, the race will have a heritage, as I mentioned. These heritages can give little bonuses depending on which one you choose. So right now I'm on the Tiefling, and I will show each class's heritage. Remember to pause if you want to read it. This is the Aasimars. This is the Dhampirs. These are the racial traits for the Drow. These are the rates for the Duergar. These are the traits for the Hobgoblin. This are the traits for the Fetchling. Finally, these are the traits for the Suli. Okay, deity. When you pick a class that has a deity, you get these options. This is the Anti-Paladin. The classes that have the deity are the Anti-Paladin, the Cleric, the Inquisitor, Paladin, Psychic, the War Priest. Going with the Cleric class, You have the same deities, but also you have access to something else, channel energy. Now, channel energies, negative or positive, give you different outcomes depending on which one you choose. Positive is more for healing, negative is more for damage. Also, you get access to domains as well, depending on what god you choose. The Bloodrager class and others that offer the Bloodline tab gives you some bloodlines you can choose. The classes that have the Bloodline are Bloodragers and Sorcerers. Some classes have animal companions or domains like the Cleric. The animal companions are this. Animal companions are companions that you can summon. I already went over that with the Druid, but here's the others if you want to see. The two major classes that get the Animal Companion are Druids and Hunters. However, some of the actual subclasses will have access to Animal Companions and anything before that I've previously mentioned. The only exception is the Summoners. As their pets, they summon Eidolons themselves. So if you want to play a Summoner, I'll let you read these. The only one to get their own unique sort of menu is the Oracle. Oracles get Heritage. So these are the Heritage and Mystery of the Oracle. Now it's done the Oracle's curses, here's the mysteries. Okay, now that we get into the skills tab, we get to allocate our ability points. We have ability scores: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Strength determines how strong a character is in terms of physical attacking and if they can lift things and do strength-based challenges. Dexterity is depending on how flexible they are, how they can throw something, or jumping, or anything like that. Constitution. Constitution is stats that regards a character's health, and other stuff like concentrating spells. Intelligence. Intelligence determines how smart a character is, their insight into lore, their insight into knowledge, and more importantly, certain classes rely on this for their spellcasting. Wisdom. Wisdom describes a character's willpower. However though, how wise they are to a situation, and how wise they are in learning certain spells, as certain classes uses this as their main spell focus. Depending on what race you've chosen, you can allocate a +2 to whatever stat you want. Skills. Skills are important. We have athletics, mobility, trickery, stealth, knowledge, arcana, knowledge of the arts, knowledge of the world, lore is nature, lore is religion, perception, persuasion, and use magical devices. Athletics determines how high a character can jump or how much they can lift. Ability is how fast they can run or how much they can jump or keep the balance. Trickery is about manipulation, deceitfulness. Stealth is all about hiding. Knowledge arcana is about the knowledge of magic, knowledge of magical feats and arts and items. Knowledge of the world. What about civilizations? What's the history of this? Pump in points this and you'll find out. The lore. What stories have they heard in the world? Have they heard about the extinct dragons of the past? Or maybe some other lore-based things that you might learn in your journey. The lore of religion. What about the church? What of the church? What do they worship? What are their principles? With this you'll find out. Perception. How does one see the world through one's eyes? Are they as sharp as an eagle's? Or are they as blind as a badger's? Persuasion. Can you persuade somebody to maybe do something for you? Or maybe you can persuade yourself out of a dangerous situation. Use magical device. This world is tethered with magical items. Just because you know a wand is magical, but the question is, can you use it right? Also, depending on what class you choose, you actually get some recommendations in terms of abilities of what to focus on. Like so. So, if your character chooses it, so when we pick your class, but you don't know what to do in terms of stats or skills, you can use this as a guide for when we create your character in the future. Or if you want, you can just leave it to me and I'll do something with it. Moving to the abilities tab, you'll end up picking up something called feats. Feats are extra abilities that you can choose that can augment your class into a certain direction. Some are class specific, others are just general. Again, using the green thumb on the left hand side, that's a good choice to make if you want it. And any feats you see in green, that's the one that the class has already. Now, I understand there's quite a lot of feats there, and some might not be showed, but these abilities, classes, and everything comes from the Pathfinder 2e tabletop RPG. So by all means, have a look on Google and try and find some sites that might give you a little bit more of an incline into what these feats and other abilities are. Going into spells, these are the spells. Each magic class learns a certain number of spells as they start off with. This can range from level 0, also known as cantrips, and these level 0 spells can be cast for free. But each class as they level up gains something called spell slots, which are limited amounts of spells that they can cast per day. These are the level 1s as they have here, as you can see by here. Some of them are damaging, some of them are buffs, some of them are debuffs. So these are for the Alchemist. Again, please refer to online guides for a list of other spells if you want the full thing. And some of these spells are not just class exclusive, sometimes they are shared amongst other classes as well. Again, when we're creating your character in the future, we can go over this. Now, once we picked your character, your classes, now we get to pick
no use for this. Forwards!
your voices.
Backwards!
Our time has come.
Let us be off.
My skills exceed yours.
I am superior!
Calm down. Not dead yet.
I sense something. I'm not touching that.
You should have run. May I see your entrails, please?
Stand with me. This doesn't suit me.
Aim carefully.
I lead, you follow.
This will hurt.
With grace? Careful now.
You can also pick your birthday as well if you wish. I mean, I don't think it has a significant effect on the game itself, but, you know, it's there if you want it. So if you wanted to match your actual birthday, you can if you wish. Of course, you can put in your name, whatever you wish. And now finally come to the alignment. There are a few alignments we need to do. We have neutral good, chaotic good. This is a moral compass of how your character will behave and react to certain events that happen in the game. In this game, in terms of dialogue, certain dialogue options can only be unlocked if a character is of that alignment. And then once you chose your alignment, your screen will look like this. All the abilities that you have, all the feats, and everything. So yeah, so that's pretty much how the character customization is going to go. Now, I will stress enough that yes, looking at all this might be a little bit daunting. However, I would recommend just looking through all of them, pausing the video and reading if you can, or looking online on other websites. There will be dedicated websites that'll help things out, you know, classes, spells and stuff. There might be a few classes with this called the WoW mod that might not be on the official websites, so, you know, there are some of them are modded, it could be fan-made, I don't know. But basically, you can be as customizable as you wish. If you just want just a name, a race, and a class, that's all, and then I could just use the abilities and spells what suits me, or, you know, at any point when we get a level up or whatever, we can go over it if you wish. So yeah, you could be as customizable as you wish. I do not mind whatsoever. So in terms of the template which you can submit your character, there are 2 ways you can do it, or 3 ways if you wish. In terms of the application, you can either leave it here in the comments of this particular video so I can keep it all together. You can join my Discord, the link is in the description below, there will be a channel called Pathfinder Kingmaker Character Submissions. You can put the template in there, or you can create it on a Word document or a Notepad document, whatever, and you just paste it, and there you go. Or free, you can get me on a direct message through Twitter. My link is in the description as well, if you wish. Those are the 3 ways you can do it. And this is how the template I wish for you to set out, which is pretty much going to be in order. First of all, the portrait. You could either describe it. So for example, let's say we pick this one. You could say orc, sword, mountains, what clothes they're wearing, blah blah blah. Or you can tell me, for example, I want portrait number, let's say portrait number 10. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be this one. Very simple. Then I want.
Run out.
Then I would like your race. Very simple. Any of the customization options you wish, gender, and obviously body type 1, 2, 3, face 1, 2, 8, hairstyle color. Be as specific as you want, or you could just say I want a fat bloke with, I don't know, let's say a smiley face. So in that case, we will go find a smiley face, which would be this one, a nice grinning face, and I want them to be bald. There, simple like that. And I want them left-handed, for example. Then finally, I want the class. So for example, I want a cleric. Okay. Looking at them, I want to be a cleric herd caller. All right, we'll be a herd caller. Perfect. And then obviously, from this point forward, if you don't want to do anything more than that, that is completely fine. But obviously, you know, in terms of customization is what I mean. And if you don't want to go into like the deity or the skills or the abilities and spells or whatever, that is completely fine. Just, you know, the race, the portrait, the race, the customization options, and the class and the subclass if you wish. And of course, finally, if I can go back to it, I don't think I can I? Can I? Okay, I'm gonna have to do this manually, give me a second. Right, and obviously, of course, what voice you want, depending on the gender, the name, and what alignment you would like. Now, obviously, some classes won't allow you to have other alignments except for good ones. But again, we can go over that when we're customizing it together. It's completely up to you. Right, okay, so that is pretty much the end of the custom character in-depth look, I guess. So yeah, so pretty much you don't have to do a character if you don't want to. This is just for people that want to. I apologize if this is an exceptionally long video. I did say about half an hour to 45 minutes, but I don't know how long this video is going to be with all the editing and stuff. But pretty much just take your time. Again, there will be chapters in the timeline, and there will be timestamps in the pinned comment down below. Apart from that, my fellow adventurers, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will start the adventure in a few days' time, so that should give you plenty of time to create a character if you want to get it in. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care.
Setting